A teen mom whose parents don't trust her.
Their religious beliefs are very overbearing.
I installed cameras to keep track of what she's doing.
She lied to Dr. Phill.
Do you smoke marijuana?
No.
We did a drug test on you and you failed.
What else is she hiding?
For many years, I've had a secret.
What did you say when you found out about it? You didn't go to the police?
No, sir.
My God, who are you people? Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
I hate to see people suffering, and you've heard long enough.
Stand by, Dr. Phill.
I'm going to get you the help that you need.
In 5, 4,
This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Go, Dr. Phill.
Well, dirty, smelly diapers, a sink full of dirty dishes and baby bottles, rotting food tucked behind mounds of dirty laundry, and used hair extensions on the floor. Imagine that's what you see when you walk in your front door. All that, plus your teen daughter sound asleep on the couch while her baby is crawling around unattended. Yeah, well, that's exactly what my first guest, Valerie, says she comes home to regularly. She says her daughter, Alyssa, is lazy and can't wait to take off and leave her baby with her mom as soon as she gets home. Now, Alyssa's stepdad, Greg, says Alyssa is an irresponsible parent who takes advantage of her mother, refuses to get a job, and doesn't even want a child. Not good. Take a look.
At 17, Alyssa got pregnant, and I was just devastated. I was like, what in the world is going on? What has happened?
I consider myself to be a very good mom. I do what I can to take care of her.
Alyssa is irresponsible. Alyssa does nothing to contribute to this house. She just lays on the couch.
My mom and Greg don't realize how much I do. They think that I'm lazy.
Alyssa should be the one to take on the care, go to the store. I feel very frustrated. I am constantly picking up after Alyssa and the baby. Come here.
I do take care of my child, and she thinks that I am a bad mom, but I'm not.
The house is a disaster.
Alyssa is a pig. She changes babies' diapers and just leaves them where they lie.
I find dirty diapers on the floor, on the couch.
Found a diaper on top of the toilet. Been sitting there soiled for a long time.
They want the house to be spotless.
I ask Alyssa to clean up after herself. She tells me to shut up. All you do is gripe.
When I clean the house, she never says thank you. I feel like, why should I clean?
She doesn't want to be a full-time mom.
Alyssa calls her mother at work during the day and says, get home. I need you now to take care of this baby. She's driving me crazy.
When I come home, all Alyssa wants to do is hand me the baby so she can go out with her friends.
I have done my role as a mother. I feel like I'm home all day with Whitney, and so I feel like I deserve time for myself.
All Alyssa cares about is smoking dope, getting drunk.
I'm at wit's end. I don't know what to do now.
I think both of them should just back off and leave me alone.
Well, Alyssa says her mom and stepdad are religious extremists who make her life a living hell. They won't even give her a key to the house.
Greg is very controlling and religious.
Valerie and I are conservative Christians.
I think Alyssa would have more focus in her life if she would have kept God in her life.
I actually stood in the elevator at work the other day and said, Lord, please help me. I don't know what else to do.
I believe following the Bible and those biblical guidelines is very, very important.
Their religious beliefs are very overbearing. They believe that girls should wear long dresses and not cut their hair or wear jewelry or makeup. They have strict rules around the house. I have no television. I can only listen to Christian music in the house.
Alyssa can have friends over as long as they're girls.
My parents have never given me a key to my house.
We have a keypad entry in the garage. I have timers I put on the garage, and if she's not in by a certain time, she is locked out of the house.
I either have to sleep in my car or drive to my friend's house to stay the night.
We lock our bedroom door because we don't want her in there. We have double deadbolts on every door.
Special locks on all the windows. We installed an alarm system on the house because of Alyssa, because we don't know what she's going to do.
They're trying to control me, but I can do whatever I want. I think my mom and Greg should trust me because I haven't given them any reason not to trust me in a long time.
Are you lazy?
No.
We saw video of the house, which is unsanitary. Do you have responsibility for that?
Yeah, I feel like every time that I do clean the house, they don't even say thank you, and they make me feel like it's not even my house.
Yeah. How old are you?
19 years old.
19. And you have a child,
Yes.
but you're a guest in their home.
Yes.
But you don't like their rules, and you don't like their attitude, and you don't like their expectations, right?
Yeah,
Move.
I can't. I have nowhere else to go.
Exactly. What do you want to see happen here?
What I would like to happen is that she would just get a job. I would be willing to keep Whitney in the evening when I get home from work if I knew that when she was leaving the house, she was going to work or go to school or both. And also communicate with each other because we don't communicate.
Well, you don't talk to her much at all, do you?
That's correct.
Why not?
It started a long time ago. I was kind of, in fact, I told her mother I didn't want to be alone in the same room with her because of any accusations that she may make that may cause me heartache down the road. So I just stay away from it. I got tired of her lip, the way she treats her mother. She doesn't respect either one of us.
Well, Greg recorded what he says is a typical fight between Alyssa and her mom. Let's take a listen to this.
You've been home all day, Alyssa. The least you could do is do the dishes.
You can stop bitching. I can do it myself. All your crap that was there on the counter, I put it all away.
Why would
You
you?
do bitch about everything.
Don't talk to me like that. Don't talk to me like that. Don't talk to me like that. Alyssa, do not talk to me.
Bitch, I can do it by myself. I don't need your help. I never do, never did, never will.
Do you do drugs in their house?
No.
Do you smoke marijuana?
No.
Do you do any other kind of drugs?
No.
Have you ever?
I have before.
But not now.
No.
Are you high right now?
No.
Well, I'm wondering because you seem pretty energetic in the kitchen, and you seem very different now. And so I always wonder why. Is it that you're hiding something? You're a little overwhelmed by the situation? Maybe you're high? I don't know. You said I have done drugs before. How long has it been? Is that like back before you were a mother?
When I was in high school.
You were in high school, okay. Let's take a break. Greg says he doesn't trust his stepdaughter one bit and has even installed spyware to keep an eye on her. We'll talk about that when we come back.
I have installed cameras that monitor who is coming and going in the house.
The cameras freak me out. I feel like my mom and Greg are stalking me. My mom and Greg keep track of my every move.
I installed monitoring software on the computer just to keep track of what she's doing.
It made me really upset.
I have installed cameras that monitor who is coming and going in the house.
People that she hangs out with are people that we don't agree with.
One time, my mom called me telling me that I needed to change my clothes because I was wearing shorts. She was watching the cameras remotely from work. The cameras freaked me out.
I put GPS on Alyssa's phone to know where she was, and I didn't know she was safe.
I feel like my mom and Greg are stalking me.
I never know what Alyssa's going to do next.
How can I help you?
I don't know. I was hoping we could figure that out.
Yeah. Do you have any questions for me? No?
No.
You understand you got to be honest with me. You understand you ought to be honest with me.
Absolutely.
Here. You raised her.
That's correct.
If she is as you describe her, lazy and unkept and unmotivated and untrustworthy and So much so you're afraid to be in a room with her, and disrespectful, and got a bad mouth on her, and lots of lip, and won't get a job, and all of that. You've kind of run this one off in the ditch, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
And your security measures are pretty extensive. They're
And I
pretty
agree.
oppressive. You keep documents of her text messages and emails, right? You track those. You installed monitoring software on the home computer. You've tapped the home phone and recorded hours of phone calls. You've researched addresses mentioned in her conversations. You've installed motion detector cameras in the garage that sends a text message, an email, so a 10-second video.
That's correct.
You took pictures of a boy leaving the house as evidence.
That's
that
correct.
The boy had been there. You installed key blocks on all the windows.
That's correct.
You double deadbolted all the doors.
That's correct.
You installed a home alarm system. Many people have that. You refused to give her a key to the house. You got to come in through the garage where there's a motion detector and a video camera.
Okay, that hasn't always been there, but she's always had a way to get into the house.
Unless it's 11 p.m., and then you'll change the garage code. So if she misses 11 p.m., she's sleeping in the car.
As I said, it's not a flop house, and it's not a hotel, and she owes us the respect of telling us where she's at. If she's going to be a little bit later, that's okay, but we never get that.
And then what did you do with that information? I mean, she did get pregnant. She does have a baby. So what'd you do about that?
I refused for her to hang out with those people, but she didn't listen. She wouldn't listen. I've taken her car away from her. I've turned her cell phone off. But she refuses to listen to me. Then as a minor and now as an adult.
Did you want to get pregnant?
I didn't plan on it. It just happened.
It doesn't just happen. It happens in a very predictable sequence. So how did that happen? Were you not taking precautions?
No.
So you did do it on purpose. I mean, purpose can be you intended for it to happen, or you had a reckless disregard for the fact that it could happen. Either of those equal on purpose to me. So can we agree that you had a reckless disregard?
Yeah.
Well, no, don't agree if you don't. Are you being truthful with me?
Yeah.
Because I don't think you are. I asked you if you were doing any drugs, and you said no. We did a drug test on you this morning, and you failed. We tested you for marijuana, positive. We tested you for benzodiazepines, positive.
Haven't taken anything. I'll admit I did smoke. I do smoke. I think that it calms me down.
Why did you lie about that? I said we got to be honest. We got to tell each other the truth here. Are you doing any drugs? No. Are you high now? No. You tested positive for marijuana and benzodiazepines. And benzodiazepines are these anti-anxiety agents. They make you chill. They make you like she is right now. I'm not saying you took something this morning. I don't know whether you did or you didn't. What I do know is that you're lying to me, so I have no idea of knowing what else you're lying about. Just tell me so I can help you figure it out.
Before I got on the show, I was drinking with my friends, and the next morning I was nauseated, so I took my prescription promethazine for nausea to make it go away. That might be it.
Could be. I don't know. When did you last smoke dope?
Not this past weekend, but the weekend before that.
Yeah, it's not true. How do you feel about it?
I'm shocked because I found it in her car, but it was all in marijuana was all in one piece. So I just really thought that she didn't do it because I found it all together. And I guess I was just in denial.
Okay,
So I
you
did.
found marijuana and you took that to be evidence that she wasn't doing marijuana.
I know, it sounds silly. I know, sir, it sounds crazy. But because it was all in one chunk or however they make it, I just assumed that it was somebody else's, I guess. I don't know.
So you found it in a car and you thought, oh, this must be somebody else's.
I kind of thought that, yes, sir.
James Bond here, did you ever test her?
No.
Well, if she twitches, you get an email. But yet you've tracked all of that, but you never thought, let's see if she's doing drugs?
We have drug tested her.
We have in the past.
We
but
have
not
in the
recently.
past.
She's obviously a lovely young woman. She's obviously very intelligent and making some really bad choices. So I asked myself why. I look over at you two, and you don't seem like you'd be a lot of fun to live with.
Probably true.
Fair?
Yes.
Could be true.
So what's causing all of this turmoil for this teen mom? Is the way she's being treated at home, is that the cause, or could it be something else?
For many years, I've had a secret that I've never told anyone about.
Alyssa has told me very little about what's happened.
When I told people, half of them didn't believe me.
Recently, Valerie found out a startling secret her daughter Alyssa has been keeping for years. Alyssa has said she doesn't want to talk to her mom about it, but Valerie thinks this just might be a big part of the reason Alyssa has been behaving so badly. Let's take a look at what we're talking about here.
For many years, I've had a secret that I've never told anyone about. From the time I was 4 until I was 17, I was molested by a family member. One time, he told me not to make any noise. He told me if I made any noise that he would whip me. And he pulled my pants down and was rubbing his thing on me. One time, we were going for a run around the lake, and he threw me in the lake and he raped me. He made me feel like if I told someone, then he would beat me, and I was scared for my life. I feel confused and hurt.
Alyssa has told me very little about what's happened. She doesn't want to talk to me about it. When I ask her about it, she tells me to stop bringing it up.
The most difficult part about all this is that when I told people, half of them didn't believe me.
I've tried to help Alyssa with this situation, but she absolutely will not let me. I feel like a failure as a mother because I should have known. I feel guilty that I wasn't there to protect my own little girl, the only little girl that I had. Mothers are there to protect their kids, and I wasn't able to do that.
I feel like what happened, I'll never be able to put it behind me. I feel like I should move on from this, but I don't know how.
Now, Valerie, you've never heard any of these details.
No, sir.
You've never heard any of these details, and do you believe that something happened to her?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because she says some people believe her, some people don't. You've lied to me already. Are you telling the truth about this? You said you didn't want to talk to your mother about it, but you did say that you were okay to talk to me about it. True? How long did this go on?
Until I was 17.
So 2 years ago, you were being raped on a regular basis by a family member. When did it start?
When I was about 4.
How do you feel about all of this?
Upset that happened to me. Angry that even though they didn't know about it, they still made me go over there. She knew that I didn't like going over there. That she did it as a punishment. Every time I would be bad, she would send me over there.
And you knew what you would get when you got there.
Oh my God.
How do you feel about this?
I feel like I said, failure as a mother. I had no clue. Had I have known, I never would have sent her anywhere to have her hurt. Never.
And since you've learned about it, what have you done about it?
Just told the person to stay away from me and her. I've tried to talk to her. I've tried to get her to go to a counselor because I felt like that's why the whole time that she was acting out as a teenager. Now I feel like that's the reason why. And I feel like a failure. I feel like I can't believe this has happened.
I assume you've filed charges against this man.
Well, I can't because she's an adult.
She wasn't when it started.
I filed
4 years old.
Yes, sir.
You haven't gotten her to a therapist. You didn't go to the police.
No, sir.
So basically, she reports being raped and molested for 13 of the last 15 years, and nobody's really done anything about it. I mean, just bottom line, that's the deal, right?
Yes, sir.
We honestly did not know.
You know now.
We know
You've
now.
known for a good while.
Well, we've only about a month.
You do believe her.
I believe her.
Because she just lied about the drugs. I mean, this could be some big drama. You said you were afraid of being in the room with her because she might make accusations.
That's exactly right.
Is that
That's
because you
true.
think she's made these accusations up, so you'd just be the next target?
I didn't know. I honestly did not know. I was scared of her.
I rolled her out of bed early this morning, as you know, because I had her sit with Jack Tremarco right there. Absolute cutting-edge polygraph expert. I wanted to know if this was just more drama or if she was telling the truth about that. We're going to find out after the break.
Even though my mom and Greg know about the abuse, they still treat me like crap. I want to stop hurting, but I feel like Greg and my mom are always just making it worse. Because of what happened to me, I feel like the only person I can trust in the world is my daughter.
Since Alyssa's family member denies the accusations, I invited former FBI expert, polygraph examiner Jack Tremarco to give Alyssa a lie detector test. And I have the results right here. Because you understand, these are very serious accusations. The question you were asked, did a family member, and that person was named in the test, ever have sexual contact with you? And your answer was?
Yes.
Since you were born, did a family member, who was named, ever have sexual contact with you? You said.
Yes.
Then to be more specific, between the ages of 5 and 17, did a family member, who was named, touch you sexually many times? And you said.
Yes.
She was telling the truth to all of the questions.
I believe.
I am so very sorry that this happened to you. It's not your fault. You shouldn't feel shame about this. You shouldn't feel guilt about this. You are 100% a victim here. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This didn't happen once or twice.
Yes, sir.
This happened time and time and time again. Are you telling me you had no
Honest to
idea?
God, I had no clue. I was floored when I found out. I honestly did not know. I would have stopped it. I would not have allowed someone to hurt my child.
What did you think about this?
It was like you kicked me in the gut when I heard about it. And I'm still numb even today. I just can't believe it.
What have you said to her about it?
When I first found out about it, I went up to her and apologized to her for not knowing. Apologizing to her for not protecting her.
What did you say when you found out about it? What did you say to her?
I haven't said anything because I haven't really seen much of her, but I haven't said anything.
You've been her stepfather for 8 years. and you find out that a family member has been raping and brutalizing this girl, and you haven't even brought it up to her?
I failed. I have not even
God,
followed
who
up
are
with
you
it.
people? What? We got an email from you
Yes, sir.
2 weeks ago. She got pregnant at 17. It's no wonder. Her baby's father's incarcerated. It's no wonder. She's refusing to get a job. She leaves the baby with me. I bathe the baby, feed the baby. She keeps her during the day, but she always wants to leave and get away from me. There's dirty bottles in the sink. She refuses to clean her room. There's nothing more irritating to me than to work all day and come home to a messy house and dirty dishes in the sink. It's like this every day. She'll call me all the time getting off work. Where are you? Where are you? Oh, my daughter recently told me that she was molested and raped by a family member all through her childhood.
I didn't mean for it to come across that way.
It is what it is. And this is diagnostic to me. We've got to make a change. We got to get real here. The person that did this denies it. Alyssa's alleged abuser left her a voicemail that I thought was very interesting. Take a quick listen to this.
You're saying that I did something to you. You need to make sure and tell your mama that's not true. And whatever goes on, you need to know that I love you and I need you to talk to me sometime. I don't know what's going on. Bye.
Well, so where do you go from here? How do you unravel this complex and layered situation? Clearly, you're making some bad choices. Clearly, I believe you are underreacting or non-reacting to a very pathological situation. So what do we do with all of this? I'm going to be very specific after the break.
I always have to remind her that I'm the mom and she's the grandma.
I've asked her if I could just adopt Whitney.
I don't want Greg and my mom to adopt my baby. My mom does act like my baby's her baby. She used to tell me that God gave her a second chance because she messed up the first time.
I think Whitney has a closer bond with me than she does her own mom. When I'm holding her and Alyssa tries to grab her, she comes back to me.
I always have to remind her that I'm the mom and she's the grandma.
I've asked her if I could just adopt Whitney.
She thinks I'm an incompetent mother. I don't want Greg and my mom to adopt my baby.
I'd be in my late 70s when she becomes 20 years old. And I always ask myself, is that what I want to do?
I think the better option is for me to raise her because I know that she'd be taken care of well.
Let me tell you some things that I believe you really don't know, that I think when you do know, it will change the way you approach this situation. I don't believe that your intent was to send your daughter to the hands of a predator. I don't believe that. Think about how confusing it is, given that this was a trusted family member, that this was someone that she's taught to respect and obey. At age 4, you don't know what's right and what's wrong. You don't know whether something fits or not. But then you start getting older and you start figuring it out, but it just keeps happening. And then there are threats of what's going to happen if you tell about this, if you open your mouth. Nobody's going to believe you. Are you kidding me? Mean, intimidating threats to someone that is used and abused sexually. Their self-worth crashes. Their self-esteem crashes. Their confidence crashes. Their trust crashes. And she goes out and gets pregnant. Let me tell you, these people learn this is what's valued. This is what you do. So they are at high risk for promiscuity and teen pregnancy. Not because that's what she chose, because that's what some sick bastard chose for her. She needs help.
Yes, sir.
And you ain't going to fix it with a camera. You're not going to fix it with rules. You're not going to fix it by any of the things that you've been doing. All you're going to do is make it worse.
Yes, sir.
What she needs is somebody to believe in her.
Yes, sir.
Not just somebody. She needs you. She needs you.
Yes.
And not that it matters, because we just met, but I believe in you. You're here. You didn't have to come here. You didn't have to talk about this. You could have kept stonewalling this. But you found a voice inside. You found a way to give it a voice. And that means you're fighting back for you and for your baby. You need very specialized help to sort out what's real and what's not real, guilt and shame and anger and bitterness and distrust, all of those things that change who you are. I, for one, think you ought to prosecute this man to the absolute full extent of the law. I, for one, think you should prosecute him. I think you should put him in jail. I think he should be a registered sex offender for the rest of his life, because I'll guarantee you if he's doing it to you, he's doing it to somebody else. And you can save somebody else from being where you were by holding this man to account. But that's up to you. And that's not a decision you have to make right now. I want to tell you what I want to do. I want to get you that very specialized help. And I insist that you take it. Will you do it?
Yes.
Woman, you deserve it. You deserve this, and your baby deserves this. And these guys need some help and guidance about how to do what they're trying to do. And I'm going to offer them those resources. Somebody that can tell them how to make this work. We have a deal?
Yeah.
You know. Okay, we'll talk more backstage. All right. Next, we're going to talk to a famous dad who worries his daughter is in danger for a very different reason. We'll be right back.
I'm a father, and this happened to my daughter. My ex-girlfriend told my daughter that this was the good drugs versus the bad drugs. So for my child, it was confusing.
Well, he may have made a name for himself with his fab abs, and I know how that feels. But it's his role as a father that brought him to my show today. Take a look.
Most people will probably recognize me from Calvin Klein campaigns, from acting jobs that I've had over the years. One of the biggest issues right now in the United States is medical marijuana. And I want to try to keep as many kids away from this as possible. My campaign is very personal because I'm a father and this happened to me, to my daughter, and she's 11 years old. My ex-girlfriend has a legal marijuana selling business. And my ex-girlfriend was having an average of 60-some plants in the garage while my daughter was living in that house. And my ex-girlfriend told my daughter that this was for the good people, not the bad people, and this was the good drugs versus the bad drugs. So for my child, it was confusing. My daughter knew about drugs. We teach them in school, and we teach kids that drugs are bad for you. So all of a sudden, the drug is good for you. So how do you make a difference between the two? I think children shouldn't be exposed to marijuana or a business that sells marijuana. There should definitely be a law that bans parents who are selling marijuana with children under the age of 18 years old. That's my belief, and I'm going to keep fighting for it.
Well, I want you to welcome Antonio Sabato Jr., who wants to pass laws that would prevent parents with children under 18 from growing medical marijuana. Someone who completely disagrees with that is Cheryl Schumann, the executive director of the Beverly Hills Cannabis Club. She is also known as the Martha Stewart of marijuana. Wow, okay, so Martha Stewart of marijuana. Antonio, let me start with you.
Yeah.
What's your point of view here, and what do you think people need to be alerted to?
Well, first of all, I know so much about marijuana because it was my first drug. I thought it was something that I could smoke and be okay and do the things that I wanted to do. But what happened after that is that it led me to do other things and worse things, and I've been clean from any type of drugs for 11 years.
Right.
Now, recently, my daughter was very distressed. She was scared to talk about her mom having 60-some plants growing in the garage that she was able to see, and also she was smelling a lot of marijuana in the house, and she knew that it was bad. And then her mother told her not to talk about it, that it was fine, it was for the good people. These are patients, we're trying to help them, it's not for the bad people. But do you think it's appropriate for a 10-year-old child to know about the good stuff and the bad stuff, and then one day that child is going to turn out to be a teenager and going up to the mom and say, you know what, you've been telling me it's good for me, so give me some, because I want to smoke some too, because I can't sleep at night and my back is hurting or whatever.
Right. And you disagree?
I absolutely and completely disagree. I think this is really a custody issue versus a medical marijuana issue. When I started using cannabis legally as a medical patient in 1996, it was under the supervision of both my medical doctor as well as my psychiatrist. And they were the ones that recommended it to me over taking 80 milligrams of Prozac a day, Xanax, Halcyon, and so forth. So for me, it worked better as an alternative to opiates. And I was able to get off of all pharmaceuticals.
But he's not debating that. What I hear him saying is exposing children to this at a young age and creating confusion in them or over accessibility to them predisposes a comfort level with starting that drug, which could be a problem with other drugs and later in life. Am I getting you?
Absolutely, doctor, absolutely.
Okay.
What she's trying to say, I understand, because she's all for the marijuana, and I'm okay.
I'm for the responsible adult use of cannabis,
so you think,
medical cannabis, with a license as a patient, not for people
all right,
with
so
addiction.
would you smoke it with a 10-year-old child?
Absolutely not. But I will tell you, when my children
Would you
came
smoke
home,
it in the next room and then bring it over here?
Could I finish my sentence, please?
But we're talking about different things. We're talking about two different things. I smoked it, so my daughter at 10 years old being confused is making me think as a father, as a caring father, going, wow, maybe my daughter someday will come back and go, my mother is selling it, maybe I'll smoke it too. So what do you say about that?
Well, I firmly believe that we're talking about parental responsibility. I'm a mom. I would never, ever be a proponent of a child using cannabis that was not prescribed by a real doctor.
I understand that.
It shows the need for regulation.
Oh, wow.
And that's the big problem.
So.
I'm also for the rights of children. I mean, our children absolutely must be protected. I have 2 daughters of my own.
All right, well, we're going to need to take a break. Next, we took a poll asking if it's okay for parents to grow medicinal marijuana if they have kids under 18. I'll tell you the results when we come back. Plus, I'll tell you what I think, not that it matters. We actually conducted a national poll, and we asked, should parents with children under 18 be banned from being able to legally grow and distribute medical marijuana? 61% said yes, they should be prohibited from growing it. 39% said no. On our Twitter, Shannon Love STTS says medicinal use of this drug and the misuse or illegal use of this drug are two separate things. Kids can be taught. Then Fifi Flea says marijuana has health benefits for many people. However, caution is necessary when children are in the home. No question about it. Helen Lusk, 1957, says people need to be alerted to the fact that pot is not harmless. It is much stronger than it was years ago, in fact. So that's what some of our viewers at home are saying. What you're concerned about is the exposure of young children.
Absolutely.
I'm all about keeping children safe. We need law reform and we need regulation to protect our families.
Got it. Antonio, thank you. Interesting topic. Cheryl, thank you so much. All right, thanks so much for being here. So long.